Dave and I were texting about that earlier. We'll get to that in a hot minute here once we get everybody kind of caught up. Like I said, I can't see people coming in the room because we're on a different program. It brings the two worlds together. I just have one chat box, and it just tells me you're coming in from Facebook, and restream um, doesn't show me Facebook stuff. So yeah, but that's okay. We got a lot of things to talk about. Yeah, I actually I mounted my camera because my cell phone I use it for the music and for the phone calls, and you can see it's right here. It's mounted now. See, it's mounted. That way I can see it because I had to go like this to look on it, and I'm like, okay, that's not good. So Brendan and I we had a phone holder, so I just drilled some screws and mounted a bracket right to the table. I don't care. It's my house. We can do what we want with it. So, welcome to the jungle, Wednesday night, boots on the ground with Brian Shank. I tell you what, wow. Let's start off local. Dave and I were chatting back and forth. We were texting back and forth about the city of Erie. Everybody walking around. What a great place the city of Erie is. And I try not to be the negative guy, but they make it hard. They make it really. Hi Kim. They make it really really hard. We have come up on how many different lists, Dave, on how bad we're doing. We're doing worse. We've spent millions. We've had. Okay, you're live with us.
Hey, Brian, I heard my name mentioned.
Well, of course, Dave. We were texting back and forth, and we were looking at some statistics from the city of Erie. It's funny. Hey, Lance. We talk about how good the city's doing, but the surveys are showing us that. Now, you want to share some of that math with us?
Yeah, I guess, let me see here. I guess they had some kind of the latest ranking of the best performing small cities in the United States. And Erie ranked the lower third of all 200 eligible cities entering 2024.
Wow.
And lower than the city's 2023 rank. So actually, we're going down instead of going up.
Well, yeah, you figure we've spent millions of dollars. We've got a team of hotshot city council men and women. We've got a Democrat mayor that we haven't had a Republican mayor since 1960. What 3, 4, 5, and they scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they scratch their head and go, "What's going on? What's wrong with the city?" I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Speaking of council people on the city council, I was watching it the other night, and I noticed, you have your little name tags up there,
Right?
and one of them has his name tag up there, but also has a second name tag up there.
Uh-oh.
And what it says is they/them. I noticed that on the news, on the television. I watched the city council meeting on YouTube. I didn't notice it then because the camera sort of didn't pan up to the name tag. But when they did a little report on the news, yeah, there's two name tags.
They're just going to push this thing right to the very end. I mean, I get it. We have to worry about pronouns. We have to worry about bike paths. We have to worry about bathrooms. But hey, let's not worry about the city of Erie just came up number 1 in rapes in Pennsylvania, and it's slipping down in other polls. Hey, but let's just worry about stuff that's really important because that bike path that will change the direction of Erie.
Yeah, it's and I noticed today. I noticed our illustrious mayor. He was today he wasn't at a groundbreaking. He wasn't at a ribbon cutting. He wasn't at a meeting or a parade, but he was at a little function downtown. He's good at those. Those are his 5 major things that he participates in the city. As far as the roads are concerned, taking care of the road deterioration and the pothole, not pothole, but the manholes being below grade, where you hit them, you might as well call them a pothole. Boy,
Well,
I get mad every time I hit them things
oh,
because I just think of him.
well,
He's the
yeah,
first person that comes to my
absolutely. And
mind.
then if you call the city and you complain about it, well, we're working on it. It's part of the plan. And I tell you what, you drive a nice truck. I drive a truck, and you know what? Driving down State Street is like a war zone. I mean, I was in the Army, you're Navy, so I don't know if you've driven a war zone before, but
Oh, it was a lot smoother on board a ship,
yeah,
even
those
in the
steel
high
decks.
winds and heavy seas.
Yeah. And I get it, but we have to worry about our pronouns. We have to worry about bathrooms. We have to worry about bike paths. We have to worry about all this good stuff. But who cares about the infrastructure? But you guys, God gives His rain, and they charge you to get rid of it. So yeah, I mean, we appreciate. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to beat up on the city. We're going to beat on the county. That's next, and then we'll work our way through the state. Then we'll go to the feds because you know what? Sleepy, sniffy Joe Biden's making my job easier and easier every day, and the
Yeah,
polls
that's
are just running away. So I think,
but one more thing,
yeah, go
Brian. I
ahead.
don't think the Democrat or the Republicans should be actually really pushing this thing about getting rid of Joe Biden out of the office, or not running either, because they seem to cut their own throats on a lot of things lately. They got
Yeah.
rid of that congressman from New York,
Oh yeah.
Santos.
Yep.
They booted him out. He's never been charged. Well, he hasn't been convicted of anything. I don't know if he's been charged, but he's never been convicted. And they booted him right out before he even went to trial or anything. And now who do we got in there? Got a Democrat in there.
Oops.
And then the other guy, but Democrats don't do stuff like that. You know that. The Democrats, look at that, the one that they were found gold bars in his refrigerator.
Oh yeah.
For the second time he was involved in some kind of shady
No.
stuff. They don't boot him out. They leave
No.
him right on in there. And they're smart for doing that.
Well, they figure they're just giving themselves to hang themselves. Then of course we go to impeachment. A guy that should be impeached and thrown in jail. We play political football on getting him impeached. But now the next fight is the Senate. And people don't. They were excited. I was excited. I was like, wow, they actually came together. But man, that vote was close. That vote was close. What, one or two?
Yeah, 2 votes difference.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here we are. Now it's going to go up to the Senate. But what are they going to do with that? They're going to kick it right back.
They're going to throw it right out. They're not
Yeah.
even
But
going to
it's
look
it's
at
the
it.
point that at least they stood up. They came together. They identified who the rhinos are, and I hate that term. I hate that term, and I don't like using it. But when you guys have this guy, right in your crosshairs, and he's lied and lied and lied and lied, then you don't pull the trigger and you miss. So well, you get what you pay for.
Yeah. Well, anyways, have a good night.
Hey, thanks for calling, Dave. We appreciate it.
Yeah, bye.
But yeah, we see these polls coming out, and the city of Erie is just slipping down, slipping down, and slipping down on these polls. But hey, let's make sure that our pronouns are right. Let's make sure that we have our ice skating rinks up and running. These feel good projects are distractions. They're distracting the people from the problems. I mean, there's a crime map that shows the crime. Of course, the biggest fame was, oh, hey, the Lower East Side has a poor zip code. Well, yeah, because there's a lot of folks that don't make a lot of money, a lot of college folks in there, and who wants to live in those neighborhoods? Because you look at the red crime dots, there it is. I mean, there's so many crime dots on that map that I was watching. Turn up your mic. Okay, I'll turn up my mic. Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was too loud or not because on my my meters were telling me that I was a little bit high. So I brought it down a little bit, but thanks. Let me know. But yeah, so you look at these crime maps and where's the most heaviest crime rate? Lower West Side, Lower East Side. And then they wonder why those are the poorest neighborhoods. Well, I don't know. I don't think I want to move my family there and live in a it's just not the opinion of a big old mean Republican. These are their crime maps showing where not to go. And if you go down there, you take your odds. But yeah, crime maps show here's a heavy crime area, but has the lowest income. I wonder why. I don't know. So yeah, and I read this article, and it was on the Joe Natale show. He had it on his website. They were tracking all this stuff, and the city of Erie has slipped 12 spaces down. Hi, Brad. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Brian. I'm so glad you're talking about the city.
Well, here we are. We're everybody's gonna get a fair black eye tonight. Cause see, my black eye's all healed up, so everyone's gonna get one tonight.
Well, I was watching a YouTube program and they were talking about free land in the United States. And lo and behold, Erie, Pennsylvania came up. Did you know we have so many empty lots in the city from houses the city took away from people because they couldn't pay their taxes? The houses got demolished because they're let go. So if you live in a house in the city of Erie and there's an empty lot next door to you can actually get that lot for basically free
Oh yeah,
because they're,
yeah we
they're
that
giving land away because nobody wants to live here.
right. And we dealt with that on the county because we deal with the county taxes. And of course they have a blighted property. It's a piece of property that nobody wants, and everybody signs off on it. Says, listen, just get rid of it. We on county council were selling those for $250. $250. You could buy a whole parcel in the city of Erie. Now, I don't know if I want to build a house there, but here's the thing: people don't come to the meetings. They don't pay attention. The only thing they pay attention to is library, 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 library. There are California companies, LLCs, buying up these city properties for $250. And when I was on chairman and I was on council, I fought with them tooth and nail. Listen, why are we giving these properties away? The county needs money. The city needs money. Why are we letting them go for $250? Nobody batted an eye. Nobody would change it. So, yeah, let's worry about the library and bike paths. But an LLC out of California is buying up the city of Erie parcel by parcel by parcel for $250.
Well, and I think I sent you something else today that I saw on Newsbreak. Pennsylvania has become one of the worst states
Corrupt.
because it is so crooked to live in.
Yeah, corrupt. It come up on
It's corrupt.
Pennsylvania is one of the most corrupt states in the United States. And part of that other story, what's the other part of the story? Go ahead.
I can't remember. I read so much stuff today. I'm so upset.
Philadelphia came up to be the most corrupt
Yes.
city in the United States. I'm thinking LA. I'm thinking some big city, big something something. No,
No, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. And then all the shenanigans about the election, it all focused on Philadelphia. No, no, no. You guys are just election deniers. You guys are conspiracists. You guys are just making this crap up. Well, here comes the data. Remember, trust the science. We're trusting the science from reputable news sources. Did a poll, did a survey, looked at the crime. All the money crunchers and people came together. Philadelphia. So go Pennsylvania. Woo! Two big lists. We're sliding down in the polls, and our city in Philadelphia is the most corrupt city in the United States.
Right. And I'd like to bring up another point your friend just made about the roads. Yet we got all this grant money in the city, and what did they decide to use it on? I think you and I discussed this. The Bayfront, putting in new LED lights instead of fixing the streets.
Well, of course,
Because that's rainbow and glitter and unicorns. That looks pretty.
well, yeah, it's a distractor. Look what we did. We put LED lighting up. We cut the curves back. We put all this fancy stuff up, and that looks nice, and I get it. But who wants to come downtown? I know Joe. I listen to Joe Natale's show a lot. And he takes a little bit more. Well, we got to be positive. The food court's coming in, but who's coming downtown? And I'm not making this stuff up. This isn't just Brian Shank sitting down. I
You
was
can't even,
no.
you are my witness. You can't even park on the street without getting your car totaled.
Well, unfortunately, you're right. People don't know. Kim parked her car in front of her house one night, and someone rear-ended her poor little Jeep, and now her Jeep needs
It needs
a
a
new
butt lift.
yeah, it needs some butt surgery and some lifting and some Bondo and some makeup because it got smacked pretty hard. But
And the thing is, and my taxes keep going up in the city. Wait, not taxes, my fees,
I get it.
because God let it rain.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. God gives us the rain. We need it. We survive on it. We need everything about it. But Mayor, 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 we call him Rainbow Joe, and his crew of folks on City Council. They are going to charge you for God's tears. So
Right,
welcome to
right.
the jungle.
And then there's one more thing I'd like to bring
Go
up, and
ahead.
I don't know how much of it I can actually bring up, and I
That's on
think I
you.
discussed this with you earlier. I'm begging people, please. I want to thank you if you got on committee. Thank you so much, everybody, because we really need to get together. We need to redo the Republican Party, and we need to start making it fun. Need to start making it so people want to come out to committee, and we need to change the face of the Republican Party here in Erie, because I know some people have come out to visit us. They've had some bad experiences, and please, don't give up. We're in the middle of changing it, and we're going to make it a lot more fun. We're going to have some fun events coming up, and please just stick with us, because pretty soon we're going to have Brian Shank in there as chairman. And that's all I had to say. And thank you, Brian.
Right. I got a back question for you on that. How many did we actually think we picked up? Committee people.
Last time I checked, it was 48, and then when I talked to Tanya this morning, it was up to 53. And thank you, Karen Jackman, because all these people were people that Karen Jackman and myself recruited. So thank you, Karen. Oh, and thank you, Brian, because you got some people on the list too. Thank
Yeah.
you, everybody, for your hard work, and a special thank you to everybody who went out of their way to get petitions signed for our wonderful candidates. And a big thank you to Micah. I read his article today. I didn't think you had it in you, but woohoo, Micah, way to stick up for yourself
Yeah. Thanks,
when you were
Kim. We
confronted in
appreciate that.
Harrisburg.
I
I'm
know.
proud of you.
We're gonna talk about that. That's on my list when we kick to the
Yes,
state level
but
stuff.
a big thank you to everybody who participated in the petitions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's so important. We need to get these people elected.
Right.
And a big thank you to everybody who's been working on the mail-in ballots. In the last 3 weeks, we've reached, just our little group, we've reached almost 500. So a big thank you to everybody. Let's keep up. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it up. So on a positive note, things are working in our favor. God loves us all. And thank you, everybody, and stay blessed. And
All
thank
right.
you, Brian, for all of your hard work with the social media.
Yeah,
And you
it's all
too,
good.
Brenda.
It's all good. Yeah. Thanks for calling, Kim.
Stay blessed,
Appreciate
you
it.
guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Yeah. If you're not sure what she was talking about, Micah is running against Ryan Bizarro, and I actually, it's not just my opinion. I actually took the article from the local people and I pinned it on my social media account. You can read the whole article about when, of course, Ryan being Ryan. He can't just play fair. He can't play nice. He has to bring out the daggers. He's already coming after Stacey Garrity, calling her, you know, names on social media. Um, but that's so he bumped into Micah down because they have to actually go to the state capitol. They have to go to Harrisburg to turn in their petitions. Really pain in the butt, but hey, what do I know? I don't make those rules. So he goes to chit chat with Ryan. Of course, Ryan pulls out the daggers and starts to smack talking. And they're complaining about PAC money. Really, you guys want to talk about PAC money? You all do it. You all get your money from it, and there's no way Ryan Bizarro is financing a state run out of his own pocket. He's not. There's got to be some PAC money. I don't know if the Republicans are going to be giving Micah some PAC money. They probably are, because it's an important race. We have to change the shift of powers because they're nuts. They are truly nuts. We have three local Democrat state reps that just stay right in step with whatever the Democrat governor says. Look what they did during the lockdown. Every show I give you my word, I'm going to remind you all how the three local Republicans kept us locked down. They wouldn't let us go green. They stayed right in step with whatever the commander in chief Wolf and his right-handed henchman, the new governor, and you all didn't pay attention to that, and that's why we unfortunately are very short um, memories, short memories. We would have if we would have paid attention. There's no way. Doug Mastriano, was he perfect? Absolutely not. But what did they do? Insurrection, election denier. It's funny how they like to play that card. Oh, he's an election denier. Hillary Clinton, what did she call President Trump when he got elected? An illegitimate president. It sure sounds like election denying to me. They all did it. They all took their shots at Trump when Hillary got beat, but that's okay. And again, the Democrats hate, 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 hate when we say this. In the insurrection, who has been charged with insurrection? Anybody? Anybody got some proof of the charges of insurrection? Not one. If I'm wrong, you call me and you tell me I'm wrong. That there was not one charge of insurrection. President Trump has not been charged with insurrection, but he's insurrection, and Stacey Garrity's an insurrection Barbie, according to Ryan Bizzaro. That's the only thing they got, because the sleepy, creepy, sniffy Joe has blown it big time. First cabinet impeachment in over, I think, 140 years of our history. You got to be one bad hombre to be the one person that has been impeached as a cabinet level in almost, we'll call it 150 years. We'll just call it almost 150 years. Yeah. Oh, Barbie is pretty. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, but when you call her insurrection Barbie, that's a slap in the face to all of our females that served in the military, done the right thing. She worked hard. She ended up being a full bird colonel in the United States Army. But then some guy that's never stepped in a uniform in his life, it's insurrection, Corey, live from Butler.
Awesome, Brian. How's everything going up in Erie?
Hey, we're doing good. We got the Shank studio up and running. Every day I try to figure something out, bring something new. Now we're looking at bringing some video stuff in. Brendan and I were talking about that. And I got some input on some videos. So yeah. So how's it going down your neck of the woods? How many signatures you end up with, my young man?
I think we ended up with about 648, give or take.
Wow.
We did incredible. And I just want to thank every single person that signed my petition, volunteered, helped me out, tried to give me motivation to do this. It really paid off in the end. And with all due respect to my other opponents in Butler County that are currently, they've been doing this for a while, some of them before I could, even vote. Before I was 18 years of age. I'm 21 now, but some of them have been doing this for a very, very long time. And I somehow get with a great team of volunteers and patriots. We had more signatures than they did at the end of the day, and they could have had the whole Butler County GOP establishment vouching for them. And we still ended up with more signatures because we have patriots that are boots on the ground, out knocking doors, getting signatures, showing up to events, and truly doing what everybody needs to do, and that's put this country first, and we need to get Donald Trump elected. So truly thank each and every single one of you from the bottom of my heart that helped me out, because it truly meant the world to me, and it's so awesome that I have the opportunity to do this. It's one of the greatest honors of my life so far to run for delegate, and I just want to thank everyone, and I humbly ask for your vote, April 23rd.
You're more than welcome. It was a team effort. I always joke there is no I in team, but there's one in Brian. But I was out there getting signatures in the cold, hanging out in the Hummer, doing my pop-up, drive-up events. Very popular. It works. Shipped them around in the afternoon, shipped them in the evening. Did Saturdays and Sundays, and I would hand them your clipboard. They're like, "Who's this Corey guy?" I said, "Well, he's a young man down south here, and he's a go-getter, and he is our future. We need to get people like him motivated. We need to get the young folks out there doing this thing. And so they're like, "You vouching for him, Brian?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And they had no beef signing your petition. So you're welcome. Thank you for not worrying about smoking dope and ride around in your race car. Like most guys your age, you're actually trying to make a difference. So we appreciate it, and we will talk, and we will help push you around it when it's time to actually start voting.
Absolutely, and it's just there's one thing that it's just I always like to be different from the crowd since I'm a fighter, you know what I mean? I've never fit in with a certain clique in high school or in middle school. And it's like something it's like, I don't drink alcohol. I don't do any drugs. I've never vaped in my life and I never will. Uh because it's just not something that I'm interested in. I want to do something with purpose in my life. And I hope that is, making a difference within the political atmosphere. You know what I mean? I'm 21 years old. Some people my age, you know, they're in college, and some of them are like literally being taught, you know, CRT, and some of them think they're like five different genders. Some think they're a Pokemon. Some have blue hair. You know what I mean?
or
And but it's
or a
just,
kitty cat. That's my favorite one when they self-identify as
oh
a
yeah,
cat and they bring their
yeah,
cat
and they
box
put
to school.
litter boxes into literal, elementary schools, into elementary school bathrooms for these quote unquote furries.
Yeah,
Stupidest thing ever.
and we get that, and that's why we see people like you, stepping up to the plate, throwing your hat in the ring, to do this. I'm 60 years old. I can't do this forever, and we need our replacements. I'll be out there at a out on the polling sites. I'll be out there with my scooter from the scooter store passing stuff out. But we can't do this forever, so we got to make sure that we recruit, we bring in new people, and that's why the Republican Party really needs to change gears. And that's why I've been fighting with them locally. I had to fight with them to get a social media account up. They're like, "Oh, we hate social media." Okay, well, guess what? It's a tool and a weapon, depending on how you use it. So they're slowly making that change, but this change should happen 5 years ago. But what do I know?
Absolutely. And, me being, very, very young and with energy, literally, I work all day from like 9 to 4 or 5 some days, and then I get off work. And today, my friend finally got back to me, and then I had a campaign account made on Campaign Sidekick, and
Right.
I was able to make 300 phone calls today for President Trump using the Campaign Sidekick app.
Nice.
So tomorrow, it's either I'm going door knocking for a local candidate, or I am making more phone calls because, like, this is literally, the fight of our lives right now with getting President Trump elected. Because if we don't, Biden another 4 years, and that's a disaster. And who even knows if it's going to be Biden for another 4 years? They could do a Kathy Bates misery on him, and next thing you know, it's could be Kamala Harris, or it could be, Michelle Obama.
Yeah, we've had
Mm.
personally, I've had enough of the Obamas. I've had enough of the Clintons. It's so funny to listen to Democrat rhetoric. We're tired of the same people running for office. We're tired of rich old white men running for office. And what do you get? Now we want to recycle the Clintons, and now we want to recycle the Obamas. I mean, at least Mr. Bush had his son run. There were two Republicans. That was a father and a son. George W. from Texas. He was a good guy. But there was things I liked about him, things I didn't like about him, but it was all right. It's funny. This is real funny. This is just a side trend here. Everyone's like, well, you know, President Trump is a draft dodger. He didn't do that because he had bone spurs. Well, 30% of American people suffer from bone spurs. But let's talk about creepy, sniffy, draft dodging Joe Biden that had 5 deferments. 5. Google them up. Check my fact checkers. Check me out. He had 5 deferments not to go to Vietnam. And you know what? It was really funny. Funny, ha ha. He had 5 deferments. He didn't because he had asthma. Had asthma. I get it. I understand that. He was on the swim team. Please explain how you can be a college level swimmer, have asthma, and get a deferment not to go to Vietnam. 5 of them. So don't give me bone spurs. Trump was in the military academy. He couldn't go. Bone spurs. I was in the army. We lost a lot of people in boot camp. Bone spurs. And if you do a quick Google search, over 30% of Americans suffer from bone spurs. And it's so funny. One of the local talk shows, they were always like, "Well, yeah, Commander in Chief, bone spurs." And I called up and I said, "Listen, boys and girls, Joe Biden had 5 deferments not to go to Vietnam. 5. My uncle went to Vietnam, and of course he got sick with Agent Orange, but that's okay. There's sleepy, sniffy, creepy Joe. 5 deferments. So nice try with the bone spurs. And you know what? If we start saying the same line of crap they do, it might just stick too. Just remember 5. 5 deferments. Someone Google that up, and I want you to check my facts. I could be wrong, but that's the one that I remember.
Oh wow, and then also, I remember you said about young people getting involved in this Republican atmosphere, and it's uh, we definitely need it. But what we don't need is you know how good I did. In the midterms. I'm not sure if I ever told you this, but I made over 10,000 phone calls in the midterms for
Wow.
our Republican candidates here in the 16th congressional district.
Wow.
I door knocked over 1,000 doors for the midterms, and I was up in the middle of the nights putting signs out as a precinct committee person. And the good news is that I filed for re-election. The bad news is there's a group of people that want to use their committee slots as a way of power and not a way of public service that have filed to run against me as a precinct committee person. But my only option is going to be to outwork them like always, and I can guarantee you this, that I will be a committee person after April 23rd once again. But some people just need to realize that this is public service. It's not anything about power. We need to have people, that are truly dedicated to getting Republicans elected up and down this ballot this November. Because if we do not, we're screwed. And it's just and the people that I'm running against, they're like they're 3 times my age. And it's like, what exactly are they gonna do that I can't? You know what I mean?
And they don't have a cool Mustang.
And they don't have a cool Mustang, and they don't have a cool haircut, which is maybe one of the most important important things.
Yeah, it looked really good
But
sticking out your Trump hat the other day when you stopped by.
oh yeah,
I
but
was
like these
just
guys
I
are
was
like,
just
I don't
jealous.
even know how old they are, but there's a guy running against me and for to be a precinct committee person. And it's like I think he's like 70 or 60 or late 60s, and it's like, what's this guy gonna do? You know what I mean?
Hey, you
How
better
is he
now
gonna knock
listen.
on as many doors as I can, or is he
Yeah,
gonna
listen here,
make all
young
these
man.
phone calls?
I'm
It's like,
60.
come on, man.
I'm 60 years old, so I'll be real careful with the 60 something stuff. But that's
Oh,
okay. I'm not lazy.
you're not up there yet, and you're
No.
full of energy because you've been doing this for a very very long time, and you have experience.
Yep.
These people that I'm running against, I don't think they have any experience to be
No.
a precinct committee person.
I get it. I get it. That's why when I didn't get reelected because of the dirty PAC money from DC coming in from the Dems,
Oh yeah,
I'm
they
like,
they had to lie about you. They
yep,
had to literally say anything they can over
insurrectionist.
$200,000.
Yeah.
It was all because of power. It wasn't
Yes.
because they wanted to be
Oh
good
yeah.
public servants. That Chris Drexel dude,
Yeah.
he's a zombie actor. It was all about power and authority and trying to get a good public servant out of office.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I totally get it. And we picked on the city. Now we're gonna move after the calls. We're gonna move to the county, and we're gonna pick on them because the new I always call him. He was a Marine, which I don't know what Marine Corps he was in, but because he's a big puppy. So I call him Terry Mad Dog Scatella, and when I'm done with you, we're gonna go after Scatella and his shenanigans and who he really thinks he is, but he's not.
Oh yeah, Terry Scattell. All the Democrats are the same. They all tolerate corruption. They all vouch for each other, and they all stick together. And it's even if it's something like like the previous guy said, having gold bars and there's a refrigerator with that Senator Menendez. But yet we're all the Democrats coming out saying that, hey, Menendez needs to go. This is true corruption or any of that.
Totally get it.
Like I think Fetterman was the only one that said something, but everyone else they didn't care because Senator Menendez was one of them at the end of the day, which means that hey, we have to stick up for this guy because he's a Democrat, and it's just they do not care
Nope.
about corruption or about But if a Republican does something, oh, it's the end of the world for them. But Senator Menendez, they can get away with anything. They could probably get away for murder. It's
Well, they
it's
probably have. We
it's
just
it's
don't
true.
know about
Oh yeah,
it. We just don't
but
know
it's
about it.
true corruption. It's sickening and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And it's just like President Trump getting quote unquote indicted for stuff, and meanwhile you see all this crap happening with Hunter Biden. The fact that he's not in jail yet, the fact that I would even go as far to say to Biden for all of his freaking treasonous crimes that he did to this country, selling this country down the drain. It's Ukraine thing he did with Hunter Biden, all the deals
Disgusting.
Hunter Biden made. He was well aware of that.
Oh,
And you
I
know what
get
he
it.
didn't? And Hunter Biden's a free man to this day.
Yeah,
It's disgusting.
and
It's treason.
I double dog dare you to not show up or just get up and walk out during a subpoena. When you're subpoenaed to go to front of Congress to answer questions, and then no, I'm not going to do this, and he just gets up and walk out. You and I do that, we would be in jail. It would be disgusting, And he's just like
We wouldn't see the light of day
Nope.
ever again.
No, just like in January 6th, all those guys, men and women that were arrested, they weren't charged with insurrection, but by God, they're treating them. I'm surprised they haven't shot them already. But hey, what do I know? But yeah, I mean that's just like with the documents. Sniffy Joe had them packed in his garage, laying on the ground. The only thing between secured paperwork was a garage door. And then Hunter Biden had access to all that information. And then, of course, Sniffy Joe's like, well, it was in a cabinet that could be locked. And they showed the photos of them laying on the floor, like they got knocked over and they were just laying there. And people could walk over them. They could pick up anything they want. And, he doesn't get charged because he is just a little old man that forgets. But he has the finger on the button and he has access to the codes. And remember when Trump was president, they were like, well, we have to secretly take the codes away from Trump because we don't trust him. Well, what about Sniffy Joe? Please someone tell me that he doesn't actually have his finger on the button, that whoever is running the government today is actually has the launch codes, and I get it. So he gets a pass, go figure, for having items that should have been secured, items that he shouldn't even have had because he was a senator. Trump was the president and had privileges. Nope, that's not good enough. But the former senator can have it. That's not supposed to happen. But he's just a little old man, and people wouldn't prosecute him. So he can't stand trial, but he can be the president. I hate the
two-tier justice system.
Oh,
and it's just
totally.
you're a Democrat, you can get away with everything because you're going to have the political establishment still vouching for you at the end of the day. The Democratic Party is still going to vouch for you at the end of the day. The globalists are going to vouch for you at the end of the day, no matter what. Plus, the Hollywood political establishment that has money, lots and lots of money. Every single Hollywood celebrity, they think the same because they're all part of the elite globalists that want to control everyone, and they keep on donating to Democrats. Let's look at it. Robert Downey Jr. What happened to him after Hollywood?
Yeah.
Look what happened to Miley Cyrus, who's insane. I could keep going. Another one. Let's see.
And look what the Disney Corporation did to Star Wars. I know this is kind of a petty point. Hope you're absolutely right. It's a sad day in our country is being laughed at. What did Star Wars? What did Disney do when they took over Star Wars? They made it woke. They made it more politically correct. They made it woke. And I was watching a story on the internet. They had released the director's name that's going to direct the next Star Wars. She is a woke. I'm not making fun of a female. Females can be directors too, but she's a woke female from India.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, and she hates men. So I think they got a big pushback and they pulled her because I'm like, listen, I haven't watched any of the new Star Wars because I've watched some of them. And they've totally sucked. And once they killed off Han Solo, I'm like, I'm done. And then they just woke. But art reflecting life reflecting art. And you're shoving this down our throats. And you know what I do? I don't watch. Captain Jack Sparrow. I'm going to stand and put my foot in the sand and say, I'm not watching it. Captain Jack Sparrow has been replaced with a female.
Yeah, I remember Star Wars is the good time, the first 6 movies, and when it's always about, the good versus the evil. You have the people
Right?
that are truly selfless, that want to help everyone out, versus the dark side, which is all about power and authority and fear. And the good defeated the evil. And then as soon as Disney takes over and Kathleen Kennedy and who's J.J. Abrams, Star Wars 9, it was the first gay thing that ever happened in Star Wars. And I couldn't imagine myself like 10 years ago in the movie theater, and a kids movie watching two females kiss, having kids watch this. That's not a kids movie. Kids don't need to see crap like that.
No, it's
Just
irrelevant to
keep
the
it to yourself.
story. Yeah, it's
Keep it to
irrelevant. Yeah,
yourself. Don't put this in any kids movies, because that's disgusting.
yeah. I
You
mean,
know it.
it was a good. It was a good. The good, evil. You had the bad guys in black. You had the good guys in white. It
Oh
was
yeah,
it was a sci-fi western. I mean, look at Han Solo. He always had a vest on. He always wore his holster down. Like a western. So I get it. And that's fine. You know what? What do we do? It's real simple. Nothing. Don't spend your money there. Make a decision where you're going to spend your hard-earned dollars, if you have any extra after, because we're building back better Bionomics. And let's real quick, Super Bowl. I got to talk to you about this. How many parts of the Super Bowl that I didn't watch because I knew they were going to piss me off? And Joe Biden wouldn't take the interview because he knows he's scared. He knows he's going to say something stupid, and like he always does, and then they can't fix it. So they pre-record a commercial. I would love to see the outtakes. And what did he do? He bitched and complained about the cost of chips. Well, gee, Sniffy Joe, why are the cost of chips so much? Because the price of fuel went up, the price of labor went up, Bidenomics went up. So he's sitting there. I don't know if you saw that video. Did you see the video?
oh yeah, I saw it.
It was disgusting.
But he's complaining about it, but it's all his
It's
fault.
all his fault. That's what all the experts are like. Hey, Joe, tap, tap, tap. Do you realize you're bitching about what you did? Because he created this fiasco. And, and then the only part I watched was the only national anthem with Riva. Amazing. And
Oh,
it was funny.
oh yeah.
They showed some pictures, video of the football. They're bawling. They're crying. They're not taking knees. They're
Chris
crying.
Jones,
Yeah,
number 95 on the Chiefs, he was crying to that because he understands that this country is amazing, and it's like it's an honor that you can live your dream here however you want to. He's playing football. He's making millions of dollars a year.
right.
And I think I remember it. I think it may have been Chris Jones. I think he wore a shirt with like Kanye West and Donald Trump on it back in
Oh yeah.
2020, or it may have been another guy. But it's like there are some good players out there. Then there are some bad ones like Travis Kelsey, who's dating that neocon globalist Taylor Swift, who is insane. And
Who
Travis Kelsey, he's sold out to the big pharma companies, and
millions.
it,
Well, hey,
oh
listen, if
yeah,
you're gonna get
it's
sick for taking a
disgusting.
shot, you might as well get paid millions of dollars to do it. And Taylor Swift, I could care less. I really do. This was all part of the plan. It was all part of this, the entertainment. I get it. And then, of course, if you go online, of course, the main media won't touch this. Was the Black National Anthem. Didn't watch it. Won't watch it. Um, and of course, people were mad that they didn't stand for it because it's not real. It's not the
Oh
national
yeah,
anthem.
it's
Just
not
because you
real at
say
all.
it
It's
is doesn't make it so. Because the American people know what the national anthem is. And it's funny. You can go online and watch some interviews. And jumping around on TikTok just to see what people are saying. It's funny. Even black folks are saying that they found it offensive that they have fought for hundreds of years to be free, and then they are free, and we give them the chances that everybody else has plus a little bit more, and they are dividing by having their own national anthem.
oh
Divide and
yeah, and
conquer, divide and conquer, military tactic 101. And they've been dumbing down America for the last 25, 30 years. they have seen how dumb they have dumbed down America. Now they say, well, there's a black national anthem. Why? Because the media says so? No, won't watch it, won't play it, won't click on it, and off we go. And thank goodness we have patriots like Reva to go in there and do an amazing job, which we knew she would. She's a classy woman, actually, got a good Southern voice. We all love her songs. She's done some good acting, and so we got it. And after that, click. I didn't watch it. I really didn't. I just because it was already kind of like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but people are like, listen, here's the math behind this, and they already had Kansas City picked to win. But it
Oh
looked like
yeah.
they
And then
were
it had to go into overtime and everything, and then of course Taylor Swift had to be in the mix
right.
and all that. But it's just
I'm shocked they
it
didn't
it
like fly her down on wires during the halftime show since she was there. But hey, what do I
oh
know?
yeah.
What do I know? But
It,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
this whole thing with like the NFL and trying to make more divisions as is, and they're not even trying to unify
no.
anyone. And this whole, you know, black national anthem, that's like you said, it's divide and conquer. And
Divide and
the
conquer.
last time I checked, we have one national anthem and we have one constitution, and every single United States citizen, no matter who they are all equal under the same law, no matter what. We all operate under the same law because we are all equal under the Constitution. And people need to start believing that, but the Democratic Party doesn't care. All they want to do is divide.
Or unless you live in Hawaii. That's an interesting story. Google up what's going on in Hawaii. They have plumb lost their minds. I don't know if they've been doing too many open fires or what, but they said, yeah, we don't even care about that constitution. It's not ours. Yeah, actually, as we bought you at a garage sale, you belong to us. You'll follow our constitution. But well, let me cut this off here, my friend. I appreciate the chat. We got a couple other things I want to get up and going and not be out here till 10 o'clock.
Awesome, Brian. Well, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night.
Hey, keep up the good work, my friend.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. So yeah, wow. 20 minutes, Corey, young guy. When it's time to vote, make sure you give Corey your vote. Young guy, we give him time. We give anybody a candidate any time. Anybody wants to come in here and put their cards on the tables, tell us who you are, where you're going, we'll give it to you. Unless you're Ryan Puppy Dog Bizarro, I'm not going to waste my time with him because I wouldn't vote for him if he's the last man standing. Because I've felt his wrath of yeah, Shank, what does Shank know? He can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. I said, I wanted to say, hey, listen here, puppy dog guy. I was jumping out of airplanes when you were still running around the schoolyard. Nice try, but I mean, I get it. So let's get this guy out. Well, you can go on my social media. You can see the article from the Erie Times News, which I was really shocked that they were as neutral as they were on this issue. And the problem is with all of Ryan's posts, I was put on Ryan's 25 most racist people in Erie County because I don't like rap music and I don't like soccer. Yeah, so Mike is a good guy. Go to his Facebook page. You can go to my Facebook page. The story from the Erie Times News, not my words, Erie Times News, about how it appeared Ryan was kind of basically being Ryan and trying to hassle Micah. Micah's a good guy, Air Force Academy graduate, business owner, family guy. Yeah, everything Ryan Puppy Dog Bizarro isn't. So yeah. So let's go to county government. Wow. I tell you what, they had a meeting on Tuesday, yesterday, and I jumped on at 7:30. 7:30 on their YouTube channel. They were still doing citizens to speak. And what were they speaking about? Anybody want to type in an answer? What do you think they were talking about at Erie County Council? Oh, wait. The library, Project Neptune. They're still beating that dead horse. And that horse is gone. It's sailed. The contracts are signed. The construction is already started. And who does Terry Mad Dog Scatella think he is? He's the well, according to the online thing, he's the president. He's not. We don't have presidents on county government. It doesn't work that way. But city council, they have a president. So they just get confused. So Terry Mad Dog Scatella El Presidente was on the news saying how he is going to try to find a better location for Project Neptune. Now, my recollection of the Home Rule Charter, which I still have on my laptop, by the way, just for reference points, he has no say. He has zero say. Zero say where this should have gone in his opinion. So of course he's the chairman, so he's gonna go on the media and quell all his Democrat buddies that bought and paid for that seat, that he is going to be the savior and he's going to find a new spot. Him and Copeland's like, oh yeah, we need to find a better place. Go ahead, find a better place. It won't pass. It can't pass. It won't pass because it's already done. And even Scatella, El Presidente Scatella, was like, well, we could probably change this around, but we probably don't have enough support to turn the veto, because they pass it, Breton will veto it, and then you need a super veto of 5 to make that happen. He knows he doesn't have the support. He knows he doesn't have support. So what are they doing? They're pandering to their base, because all the angry Democrats, are on there. I got to do this one gingerly, because I like Joe Natale. I respect him. He's a great broadcaster. He's a pretty neutral guy. He had 2 of their Rennie Raiders on there on his show the other day, and I listened. I wanted to talk about it, and of course, they're all just one-sided about all the bad stuff and why they don't want it. Well, first of all, it's irrelevant. It's a done deal. Leases are signed, construction's starting. You're just spinning your wheels. Knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. I'm no one to say you can't go out and do that, but I'm telling you, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time, and I think we talked about this before. Joe Natale asked the question, basically asking, well, why did the director that was at the library that approved this project, that was on board with it, Karen, she was a director, they threatened her life. Fact. I've got the facts, not some bullshit internet story. They threatened Karen's life. The sheriff had to come down and put her in the back of a patrol car, put a blanket over top of her, drive her out. They pulled her inside the garage doors, closed the garage doors, put her in the car, put a blanket, backed out, took her home. This is from the party of tolerance, that are willing to threaten your life for a library, because they like Neptune. They do. The research. It's all good. We got to protect the lake. But we don't want it because it's the people's library. Hey, you know what, boys and girls? It's my library too. I pay those taxes just like you do. Just because you have this little couple petition folks, that's fine. They say, oh, we got thousands of petitions. That's great. There's 270,000 people in Erie County, and I know a lot of people that do support it. It's going to be a great project once it gets off the ground, and you can actually go down there. Oh, well, services are going to be cut. They're going to cut back. They're not cutting any services. Not one book will be deleted. Not one computer will be put in storage because of this. They're rearranging the library. They have plenty of room to accommodate this. No services will be cut. So it's funny, listen to these ladies on the radio, and of course they sound like little church mouses. We're self-supporting. This is our library. It's my library too. It's my neighbor's library that they like it. The other people that said, yeah, there's some social media posts that, yeah, we like it too. We like it. But just because you guys make the louder noise, and I'm not going to use the lady's name because I don't really go, Shank's just calling me out on. She was on the radio. She was so soft. Her voice was so soothing. It was like a NPR radio station late at night. My God, when she was at council, pounding on the podiums. And I love it. I love this hook that they, right out of the Democrat playbook. It's a threat to democracy. This library thing is a threat to democracy. Even Joe Natale's like, How's this a threat to democracy? Are we burning books? Are we shutting it down? Are we firing people? Did we get rid of anybody? No. Did we delete any services out? No. We're adding a new feature. So it's funny how nice when they're in public on a radio station. Oh yeah, we support this, and and Joe Natale's like, well, wait a minute, isn't this a political thing? Oh no, 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 it's not a political thing. It's like they don't want Brenton Davis to have a win. They don't want to have Davis as a win. They don't. They don't want to have him win anything because he's going to run for re-election. What, 2 years? So they want to chalk up all these things that he's when he got elected, and what did the city of Erie Democrats do on city council? Those two men across the street are threats to democracy. Both honorably discharged veterans, but you're a writer for the Erie Times News, which you don't even do that anymore because it's basically gone. But you read for the Erie Reader, okay. But yeah, so here's the new elected Democrats on county council. Oh, we're gonna find a new place that everybody's happy about. Listen, the reason they put it down there, and I'm telling you, you want to know, well, because Joe's like, wait a minute, did you guys have? There was another building for Neptune. What happened? Oh, we don't know about that. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. That was in the news. It was in the media. It was everywhere. The reason we couldn't use that building is because the Port Authority pulled it last minute. I mean, they're ready to put the ink on the paper to get possession of that building, start the renovations, and it would have been down right next to the water. The Port Authority said no. Call Julie Slomsky. She's the acting director of the Port Authority. Ask her. Oh, that's right. She's a Democrat implant too. So good luck getting an honest answer out of that one. I'm just saying. But yeah, so the lies and deception are deep. They are really, really deep. And you really have to dig out there. You're right. Yeah, Stan, you are absolutely right. They came there, they threatened us, they stomped, they pounded on the desk. I can't make it up. It's all on YouTube. If it got recorded. Sometimes there's some technical issues and we don't have it recording. But they came down there, you're gonna take a knee. I ain't taking a knee for nobody. And especially not you. But yeah, they were mad. They had every LGBTQ person in 50 miles come in there and say how mean they were about the library, how mean they were because they moved some stuff around because some people complained. Yeah, Mark, we'll get to that one. That's coming up next. So yeah, we wanted to talk about we talked about the city, we talked about the county. Now, but pay attention, watch these meetings. And now the biggest thing is now Brenton Davis, Senator Dan Laughlin, Brenton Davis, Brad Rowe, Harkins, Mirsky, and Jake Banta all signed a letter, Democrats and Republicans, that they want an audit from the gaming authority. Remember the gaming authority that, if we approved it, this is another wolf lie and Shapiro's lie. Oh yeah, we get the gaming in here. It'll come out. It'll help your taxes. It'll help everybody out and it'll be a good thing. Waiting. Nobody got any tax raise except for the folks up at Ferry Highway Summit. That was part of the deal. And we got that. So they write a letter saying, hey, we want to see the books. We want to see why the director's getting a $40,000 a year pay raise, which is going to be held tomorrow morning at 8:30. If you want to go and speak and stand up to these people, the Democrats do it. Why aren't you people doing it? Oh, that's right. You got jobs there today. I apologize. But so yeah, they're gonna push this big raise, big fat raise, and look was in the news yesterday. ECRA, $1.6 million. Whee! All the big players. Where did the money go? Where did the money go? Erie County Gaming Revenue Authority. Erie County, emphasis word county, gaming authority. Where do you think most of that money went? I'm going to take a drink out of my custom made tumbler for my lovely wife. If you want one, get a hold of her. Shameless plug. Went to the city. Went to the city charities. Most of it. They threw a couple $100,000 around the county just so they can say, yeah, we're Erie County, not the city of Erie, a gaming authority. I won't get too deep and I won't, I don't want to put names out there because people are going to sue you for liable. Whatever, man. You want to take, what are you going to take my laptop and my computer? Take the car. I still owe money on that. The house, I still owe money on that. So, hey, you want to take the debt, knock yourself out. But the point is, here we are taking care of the big city tickets, big city nonprofits, ACRA. Well, of course, that's their job. But here's the kick in the teeth. They spend almost $500,000, $500,000 on overhead. Well, the director's pushing $200,000 a year. Staff, rent, blah, 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 credit cards, expenses, blah, blah, blah. So $500,000 of your tax dollars that's supposed to be for you to help out with your property taxes, which never happened because Wolf lied. Wolf and Shapiro lied. Let me put my shock face on. But now Brenton's like, wait a minute, we want to see your books. We want to see what's going on because we think there's some shenanigans going on because the money doesn't jive. And of course, they go right into defense mode. We're crystal clear, blah, blah, blah. I saw the letter, blah, blah, blah. We'll comply, blah, blah, blah. So what's the problem here? We, the people, are not doing our jobs.
To ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
We do not hold these people accountable for them making $200,000 a year. Let's talk about the director of diversity, equity, and inclusion, $150,000 a year. I didn't realize nonprofits were so profitable. What do I know? I want one of these gigs. Right. We the people. We can do this all night long. I got the technology now. But my point is that I try to drive home. We, the people, need to stand up. We need to have these people held accountable. It's just the good old boys. It's the good old boys. And you know what? You're paying the bill. You're paying the bill for $500,000 being spent up here. And it sucks because it's in my district. They have a nice building up there. They rent from Penn State and Knowledge Park. The director, he makes a ton of money. Hey, good gig. I think they paid for his doctorate, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, correct me. But you know what? We the people just, that's just the way it is. No, stand up and fight and push back. This meeting is tomorrow morning, and hardly anybody even knew about it. I wanted to go, but unfortunately, I belong to the American Legion, and I belong in the Honor Guard, and we have to say goodbye to a veteran tomorrow morning. So unfortunately, I have to go say goodbye to a veteran because that is what I've done rather than go up there and fight up there. Because I had a bunch of questions, but I'm like, oh, man, I gave my word that I would be at that saying goodbye to that veteran on the Honor Guard tomorrow. So I can't make it. So you need the information. It's tomorrow, 8:30. You can probably Google it up and find it, So it's there. Go up there. Your citizens to be heard. It doesn't matter. They have a stacked deck. The board is handpicked. They're gonna not say no to the director. They're not. But hey, if you can get a $40,000 a year pay raise, man, I want that gig. But it was funny. I was not making on council, and I was just like, man, you know what? I think I'm going to apply for the director of the Port Authority. Wouldn't that just chap some behinds? So yeah, I'll wait till they actually officially list that. So you know, I got a resume. I've done some pretty cool things. I could say no or yes to a new road, or you can have that lease or not have that lease, and well, we can do that. The board does most of the work. The director just stands there for photo ops. You know, man, I don't think Julie Slomsky would like working for me. Woo! I'm just saying. The reason the city is in bad shape because so many organizations they're not. I read a report. Almost 50% of the commercial buildings in the city of Erie are nonprofits. Nonprofit. So when you see a house torn down, a couple houses torn down, they just did that on 12th Street. They tore a bunch of houses down for the Eagles Nest. You know, to take all those houses that average $2,000 to $3,000 a year in taxes, they take them down and they put up a nonprofit. You're not qualified. You're too honest. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not a Democrat either. You don't get hired for those jobs unless you're a Democrat. Look at it. Look how it works in the city. You know, if you're not a Democrat, you don't get hired. And I could have an impeccable resume. No way. The board probably wouldn't even accept my application because it's a rigged system. They already knew who the director is going to be. I'll take you a bet. I'll put money on it. It's Julie Slomsky. You know, bet you $5. After she got hired. Oh yeah, don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. I found my job. This is where I want to be. Man, 2 years later, bam. She was on the board of directors of the Port Authority. And the minute that the position hadn't been filled in over 20 years, but they fit her in there. And what they're going to do is they're just going to bump her up the director. She'll be the director of the Port Authority. You watch, because that's how politics works. She's well connected. She's connected to Wolf and Bizarros. She's all connected. Very well Democrat, but she couldn't beat. Well, she beat Andre. She did beat Andre Horton when she ran for senator, and then wanted to charge you to go to the peninsula that you already pay for. You pay taxes that go to the state, and she wanted to charge you a fee. Chick, chick, boom. Shot herself on the phone on that project. And they just hung it around her neck, and she just couldn't take it off. There was just no way she was going to beat Dan Laughlin. No way. So we covered a lot of things. We talked about a lot of things. Great calls. I appreciate your calls because it's not about me. I want to hear you. I want to hear what's on your mind. I want to hear what's bugging you. I had another guest coming in at 8:30, but unfortunately, they texted me and said they could not make it, so they had another obligation. So I couldn't take their call. Great husband and wife team. Great fundraiser. Harvest 912. Look them up on social media. The gentleman that runs it was an Air Force veteran. He got out of the military, and then he was seeing people in need. So bought some boots, handed them out. They just kind of grow. Now they're sponsored by several of the hospitals. They have a mobile foot care facility. They have foot doctors come in. They give people they trim their nails, and they'll give them a fresh set of boots and socks, no charge, because it's we the people taking care of we the people that need help, and that's the way we're supposed to be. But for some reason, we don't do that, and we're too busy worrying about bike paths, you know. Um, so yeah, we're gonna just kind of bring this thing in for a landing, and then we will maybe do another Saturday Night Live. It's up to you, if you guys want to do one. I got a problem with it unless I'm busy, and I don't like to say I'm going to do one every Saturday night. Saturdays get kind of busy. I will be starting a new job here shortly. When I'm officially there, I'll share it with the group. But yeah, Darlene, happy Valentine's Day. Did you get everything delivered, ma'am? I'll wait for her answer. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I'm here for the people. I'm here to bring you the facts. I don't answer to anybody. I don't have a corporate sponsor saying what you can and can't say. I'm an independent, man. I'm an independent. Oh, look at that. Restream. I just got a trophy. I love getting participation trophies. Restream. Received 100 messages today with Restream chat. Because of you folks, I got a trophy. So I'm excited. I think that's the second trophy I got. I think I got one Saturday night because you guys were just so much, you guys are so chatty. And like I said, this is all coming in from Facebook because I have an F or a U if it's Facebook or it's YouTube. We're still looking for a sponsor. We know there's still some equipment I'd like to buy. We have pretty much spent what we can. So now I'm going to ask for some help. We're going to get a video processor. That way we can do some, some cool video stuff. Make it even look way more funner. We can do some very primitive, camera shot changes here, which is I think is cool. And we get that. We will we'll do some more up gaming. So other than that, I'm going to see YouTube. I gotta wait 1 second. So because there's a commercial. There it is. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and your feelings and things that irritate you and things that we need to fix. And like Kid Rock says, we the people, and no words have been spoken truer. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. It's an American thing, and we need to make this thing fixed and make it work better. Everybody, good night. Be safe out there. Watch for the weather. I'm hearing some crazy weather stuff in New York, so that sucks. Good night.